Hi, America, phone my phone, and welcome to another video. Today we're getting back into Madonna with her fourth studio album, Like a Prayer. I am very excited to get into this album and get back into Madonna with you guys. It's been a minute, but I'm excited to hear some jams. What I'm sure to be, at least. The only two songs I know going into this album are Like a Prayer and Express Yourself. I only really remember the chorus of Like a Prayer, and then Express Yourself, I feel like I know the whole song. It was on one of my positivity playlists back a long time ago before I really got into much Madonna at all. So I do know basically both the first two songs, but the rest of the songs I have no idea. So I'm excited to get into this album. I'm sure it's gonna be a vibe. It's 1989, so let's have some fun. Thank you for requesting this video, and anyway, let's get into it. Track number 1 is Like a Prayer, the album title. Okay, a little more electric than I thought it was gonna be. Oh. Everyone must stand alone. Ooh. I wanna take you. Okay, I'll close my eyes too. Oh, did they really bring in a choir? Good. I really am liking this breakdown, this quiet. And ooh, okay, yeah, gospel moment. So that was Like a Prayer, and what do I dig in this album? Yes, okay, yeah, I don't think I've heard the song all the way through. I think I really just know the chorus. I know I'll take you there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this song's interesting because I feel like the song is a little bit sensual, but also maybe more something spiritual, something more mature than just intimacy. I'm not quite sure, actually. Because when you call my name, that could be a lover, that could be a friend, that could be a parent, it could be anyone, God. I don't know, because the thing is, when you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I feel like if you're using it as a simile, you wouldn't be doing that if it was like actually a religious figure. So I feel like it is sensual, but I don't know, the amount of like gospel influences makes me feel like it's something a little more strong, like a friend or a relative or someone in that nature. But it is a good song. The chorus does slap, and the rest of it is really cool too. I do like the breakdown. For a 6-minute song, my attention was pretty much on it the whole time. So I do commend it for that. That is hard to do, especially in today's digital age. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think it's a good start to the album. Track number 2 is Express Yourself, the other song that I have already heard. I'm really excited to hear it again. It's been a while, so let's get into it. Oh, I did forget this Come On Girl part. Goes something like this. Second best, baby, put your love to the test. The fancy cars never last, no, no. Time isn't right, move on. Period. Ooh, okay, low voices. You're not, hey. So that was Express Yourself and a bop, as we remember. But I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics as much as I thought it was. I really did think it was a song about expressing yourself, and, you know, communicating is so important, and sharing how you feel. If you don't express yourself, you're not gonna get very far. However, it's definitely very clear that it's talking about the partner. You have to make him express himself, or really, you don't know if your love is real and you can move on. It reminds me a bit of the song from Enchanted, That's How You Know. That's how you show her you love her. How does she know that you really, really, truly love her? From another perspective of it is like, if they're not doing that, then maybe they're really not really out there for you. I think this song has a very mature message, kind of following along with Like a Prayer, and that these themes feel a little more grounded, especially for her earlier career. This is talking about not just like, oh, what is happening in the bedroom, what is happening in terms of gifts and little romantic gestures, but really actually sharing and words of affirmation and words of being serious in a relationship, and not just doing some little fling. I can see why queer men like this song. I've definitely heard that they have, and I see it fully now, especially knowing really the real lyrical content. All right, on to new things. We have a track number 3, Love Song. Is that French? What was that garage band sound? Oh, there's someone else singing on this, but it doesn't say anything on the Spotify. Don't give me one of your lines. This is not a love song, but you title it Love Song. Girl. Wait, that sounded like Prince. Say what you mean what you say. Oh, express yourself continuation. Ooh, pause. Wait. Time goes by so slowly. Oh my gosh. Okay. Shout it. So that was Love Song, and yeah, that was featuring Prince. I don't know why he's not credited. Is it like during one of his eras where he didn't use Prince as his name? Like, I do not know. But yeah, this is a collaboration between them. I looked it up to check to make sure that was Prince. And it says that they actually didn't record their parts in the same room. And I feel that actually a lot. I feel like these are very separate. With that skeletal beat in it, there's not a lot going on production-wise. It's in my own music almost, like, gosh. Like, it's so minimal. And especially for 80s, that's, like, so not common, I feel like. So, very interesting track for this record. This song is really, like, a love in limbo, where they're not really in love right now, but they're still definitely romantically connected to each other. And are trying to reconnect, but they're also like, God strike me down if I did you wrong, because that is forgiving, but also saying, I don't feel like I did anything wrong, actually. So, I don't know, it's a push and pull. There's definitely a lot of tension there that can be cut with a knife or a drum beat. Besides that very minimalistic sound, I do find it interesting that she had the lines of "the time goes by slowly for those who wait." She later used in Hung Up, which is wild, because here she's saying, I don't know if we're coming together or coming apart, basically. But in Hung Up, she's like, I'm hung up with you. I'm done with that. I am just going to have fun. And so I'm not going to wait any longer. And I feel like that is a big theme of the Confessions on the Dance Floor. With Sorry, with Hung Up, with Jump. It's really about forward motion. And here she's not in that forward motion state of mind on this song. Definitely something that requires headphone listening, because it really felt like the pieces were in different places in the room and didn't feel like it was well mixed coming through my speaker. Track number 4, Till Death Do Us Part. What is this beat? Feels tropical, but very synthetic too. Look at us running out of time. You don't love me no more? Dang. Now you're finding I'm just your little wife? Ooh. She takes the key, he breaks the door. You're not in love with someone else, you don't even love yourself. So that was Till Death Do Us Part, and wow. I wasn't prepared for that, and if you know the song has sensitive issues, abuse type stuff, skip forward if you'd like to move on to a different topic. This is a very real song about a abusive relationship that she had. I don't know if this is actually about her ex at this point. I don't know if it's fully based on true experience, but I do know that she did file for divorce around the same time. So I'm going to make an assumption there, but it's all alleged. Don't sue me. Such an odd song in that the sound of it is so easy breezy, just like chill listening. I feel like I'm on a beach. But this is such a sad song, right? Because not only are you detailing images and a story of a abusive marriage, but also just the loss of this romanticized love, because you don't have an escape in this. I guess this is a religion themed album a bit, given the fact that we have like a prayer setting the tone for that. But I think the Till Death Do Us Part being the very religious thing that it is, also going to do that as well. And it seemed like as I was looking up the lyrics that it's going to be a recurring theme throughout the rest of the album. Yeah, this is heavy stuff. I feel like Love Song was kind of like the silliness of having a love that is a little bit push and pull, as I was saying, and a little bit tense and a little messy. But Till Death Do Us Part is really showing the serious, this is horrible experiences that one can face in such an environment. And I hope everyone who is experiencing this gets help, I will go find a hotline, and I will put that in the description below. I know this is a common issue that still exists, and I hope at some point it will not be a common issue that exists anymore. But for now, we have to do what we can, and that is to help as many people as possible, including yourself. If you are in need, please seek help. Track number 5 is Promise to Try. And please tell me it's not to try with this man again. She felt all the pain. Ooh, what are you singing about? So that was Promise to Try, and I looked up the lyrics. I didn't look up the lyrics for the first two. Please let me know if there's any crucial things I missed. But Promise to Try, wow. First of all, beautiful ballad. Definitely showing her lyrical prowess here. This is really sad also. This is about her mother. We've talked about her mother and father multiple times on this channel with my other reactions to her, because it's going to be a theme that keeps coming up. I believe this is one of the first albums where it becomes a theme that she talks about. And Promise to Try is really about her mother. And she's talking to her younger self, saying how she can remember her mom and try to kiss her goodbye is going to be hard because it's not the same, and over time memory fades, and that's really hard. You know, I have loved ones that I don't remember everything about them, and it's really sad, and I lose things, and it's horrible, honestly. Like, it's really sad. Sorry, I'm just getting emotional about this. Like, yeah, this song really, yeah. The song is really about holding on to the memories and trying your best at least to do that, because it's going to be really hard to do everything right in every situation regarding people who you have lost, but you are going to promise to do your best, and it's all you can do, but it doesn't always feel like it's enough. So yeah, kudos to her for being very vulnerable on this project. Yeah, I feel like this one would have been a little weird with the Till Death Do Us Part sound on it as well. I'm glad that she stripped this back, because I feel like it allowed us to really just peer into her life and feel the struggle that she's dealing with. Track number 6 is Cherish. This song also has a lot of streams on it. I don't know it though. I don't think at all. Okay, Cherish. This got a good swing to it. I want more than just romance, period. I was never satisfied with casual encounters. Romeo and Juliet never felt this way? Whoa. This is fun. Feels like kind of show tuney. I like this, like the snappy beat. It is fun. I never would. Okay. You have an acapella moment. So that was Cherish. That was fun. I had a great time with that one. Oh gosh. Oh, that would just make me feel giddy and upbeat. You're really giving me emotional whiplash on this album, girl. Like, that was just fun. The song is really just about cherishing a person in your life, or cherishing people in your life. Yeah, it can be about a big romantic partner, significant other that you want to be with forever and just live the rest of your life out with them and not do these casual encounters that she was saying she wasn't really a big fan of. She definitely is more of a relationship type person. She wants a big, deep connection, and this person is really giving it to her, which good for them. I really like that idea of also cherishing that, not just taking another person for granted, that you actually are cherishing and thinking every day and every moment. Well, it doesn't have to be every moment, but every day, and thinking routinely that, wow, I'm so lucky and so grateful to have this person in my life, and for the experiences and the feelings I get because of them. And I think that it can apply to a non-romantic relationship. I think Madonna would be one of the first to agree about that, because I feel like I can do it with your friends. You can do that with yourself. I feel like this is also a self-love anthem to some extent. I do tend to make a lot of love songs about a self-reflection type thing and a self-love thing because I don't always have a romantic partner, but I always do have myself. And I would never leave me, ever. I never could. The song also felt retro even for a song in 1989. It did feel like a little like jukeboxy, swingy. Yeah, I don't know. It just felt a little 50s, 60s-ish. So I don't know what was going on with that, why we were pulling it back and getting nostalgic at that point. Maybe, I guess, the feelings of those ideal romances of the 50s and 60s. I guess it also does bleed into the 80s, this optimistic pop vibe. So I guess it is going there, but it feels like it's taking some sounds from a little earlier. This was just a fun song. It just made me giddy. I'm just having a good time now. I'm worried that that's not going to last long. I feel like we're going to have some emotional songs. Even though I've been told this is an emotional mature record, but good luck, Eric. Track number 7 is Dear Jessie. Who is Jessie? Okay, string section. Oh, baby don't grow so fast. You'll make your dreams come true. Is this a child? Oh, feels like we're evolving. Oh, now we've gotten a bit more medieval instead of whatever experimental it was before. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's a waltz. Okay, now we're back into this with some brass. So that was Dear Jessie, and I learned that Dear Jessie is the co-writer and producer's daughter, so that's cool. Yeah. Alright, because I was like, I don't think she had kids yet, but this is a cute song, definitely targeted towards a child about the wonders of imagination, you know, having joy and wonder and mystery and all of that excitement. When I looked it up to see who Jessie was, I did discover 2 interesting things. One is that I had noticed that meter, and that is the only Madonna song that has a meter change in the song, which is fun. And also, she makes a reference to the rub the magic lamp for the genie, which, you know, comes from 1001 Nights, which inspired the Disney movie Aladdin, and Aladdin came out after this album. I need to change my timeline up because that confuses me. Yeah, a lot of the 20th century gets a little confused in my head, especially when it comes to pop culture. So I do find this song interesting. I feel like it's a very interesting song to have here because songs for your children, unless that is a theme of the album, it feels confused on a project. I think for her, you could argue that she's talking about her mother. I assume Oh Father has something to do with either religion or her actual father, maybe both. So I guess she's showing a parental passing down, even though she doesn't have kids at this point. So it is like a familial album, if that makes sense. Their song I remember that's kid-oriented, much more modern, obviously, is Equals from Ed Sheeran. And he definitely approaches the album with the idea of like family first and focusing on that and his relationship with his wife, as well as with his son. So yeah, I think it makes sense for that because of that maturity that he's going for on that project and the maturity that Madonna is going on this project. It's okay to have a whimsical moment for the sake of the project having a consistent theme of family being important. So I do find it odd that one has to make it partially about having kids for one's album to have that parental theme of it. You could have a theme entirely about family and parenting without having children yourself. So I think it is interesting, and I guess she did do that. She didn't have kids at this time. So yeah, I think it's an interesting song. It definitely took me out of some of the more serious notes that we've had on this project. But I guess it's a bit of a welcome break, and it was definitely a flight of whimsy. I'm not sure if I would listen to it much. I don't really know what these type of whimsical songs, what they really do, except for maybe the listeners of children. But especially back then when you didn't have streaming, you couldn't put it in a playlist. I'm wondering, how are these kids listening to it? Because they should not listen to Till Death Do Us Part. And that song comes before that. And with the records, that doesn't work. Maybe Dear Jessie was started the other side of the vinyl. And you could just start with that and it'd be okay. I could also see Cherish being the start of it. And you could listen to Cherish probably just fine without your kids listening to something they shouldn't listen to. But yeah, that was a nice little whimsical detour. And let's get into track number 8, Oh Father, which I'm sure is more serious because I've definitely read that that song exists when I was looking at other serious stuff in Madonna's later projects. So let's see what it's actually about. That is an interesting Sonic choice. Oh, we're having a grand piano come in here. You never loved me. Oh. I got away from you. Oh. She sounds a little like she's crying as she sings. I can't tell if this is about God or her dad. You never wanted to hurt me. I think this is about her dad at this point. Oh, she hopes she can say that later. Oh. So that was Oh Father, and I looked it up. It is mainly about her dad. Though I think one can even extrapolate it to be about religion and the idea of a big male authority figure dictating how you live your life. Because here I think in this song, the father is actually being cruel as a point of being hurt because, you know, his wife passed away. I think it's just an interesting point to tie it to Till Death Do Us Part, and these male figures being aggressive or being strict or acting cruelly towards her, and that she's seeing that pop up in how she was raised, in who she decides to be in a relationship with, and that this figure is following her throughout her life. And I think that could also be compared to the idea of this big overarching male authority figure of God or religion or whatever that can also make you dictate your life or feel punished by an outside force that is not you and is more arbitrary than we might talk about. Powerful song. I think it is definitely a very raw song, and I don't think I will actively want to listen to it much because, well, it's a raw song, and as someone who grew up with two moms, I don't have a father figure. So in the literal sense of it being a male parental figure, not going to happen. Now, if we want to talk about family issues, we're not going to talk about that here because this isn't therapy. I think while the song resonates with me in terms of, wow, I'm feeling her struggle, it is not something I'm going to actively want to hit play on because it doesn't give me any personal catharsis. It's not a song you want to dance to. Track number 9 is Keep It Together. I'm gonna assume it's emotional whiplash again. Okay, keep it together, keep it together. Wanna be different, wanna be on my own, okay. Oh, they always want something from her. Home is where the heart should be. Ooh. Blood is thicker than any other circumstance, okay. Oh. Okay, I'm liking this breakdown to outro us. Okay. So that was Keep It Together, and the song I think is just about our siblings. And yeah, it is very much about being like, keep your family close. Home is where the heart should be. And yeah, I think it's definitely a weird tonal shift from Oh Father, where we're like, oh, we got away from you or whatever. I mean, I guess if you're really only talking about your siblings, then I guess you're gonna blame things on, you know, the older familial figures, and you're like, no, deal with that. But in terms of siblings, yeah, let's keep it together. I think it's also in response to the idea of her becoming famous and her moving into cities, and these cities have people who might be not as kind. I know she's from Michigan. Love the Midwest queen. Chapel, but this is the original Midwest princess before she became the queen of pop. She moved to New York, and while she loves New York, she also definitely dealt with a different culture shock, interacting with people who only want something from you or see you just for your status and love you for what you present, not necessarily who you actually are. This is not me ragging on New York. It's about ragging on certain circles that she probably ran with in New York, or if she ever went out to Hollywood. These experiences of dealing in fame that are not necessarily as fun and as genuine and as authentic as a lot of regular human connections can be. So I think it's going a bit back to her roots, and this is a very groovy number. I'm not sure where the specific inspiration comes from, but it feels a little hip-hop-ish, and it's just, yeah, it's just a fun time. So I enjoy this song. I am an only child, so I don't really have that specific connection to brothers and sisters. So unless you're my donor and can tell me who my siblings are, I don't personally relate to the song, but I do like the song just vibe-wise, so I could see it playing. Track number 10 is Spanish Eyes. Oh, did I hear some castanets? His heart is here with me. Okay, romantic? I know he hears me saying, oh. Okay, interesting sentiment. Oh, she gets really high there. I hear a man also singing too. No, what? Because why is this giving royalty-free Spanish themed music? Ooh, what Spanish is that? Oh. Oh, I know what this is about. Okay, so this is Spanish Eyes. Good lord, this album's so serious. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I'm focused. So online it says Pray for Spanish Eyes is the title, but this is Spanish Eyes. I don't really know why they got rid of Pray for. Not sure at all. But this is a song about a friend who was lost to the AIDS epidemic around the 1980s, but obviously it still exists today, though thankfully not nearly as bad as it was then. Started getting the message towards the end with how many suns will it have to burn. I think it was actually like suns, like stars in the sky, and like how long will it take. I think it has a double meaning with the homophone of how many suns do we have to burn, how many men are we going to allow to perish from this crisis that we are not taking seriously, which I honestly just can't believe that. I mean, I can, because our system is the way it is, but it really angers me how little we cared about people at the margins. And that still happens today. I mean, there are people who are actively suffering now that we just don't talk about, and it leads to serious concerns. And I'm very thankful that I feel like our generation is standing up more, but I hope we continue to do that and to show up for people who we have never met and who we don't know about. I think it's really critical that we actually are thinking and not just letting the simple truth that we as kids had, that everyone deserves a life and if people are dying, it's bad, and not get into some weird nuanced debate of, oh, well, if we do this, then it's not politically viable for us. Shut up. Oh my God. I am so over this rhetoric, or, oh, it looks bad for us as a country, or, oh, then there might be some retaliation. We're the US. We have the most nuclear weapons out of anyone. I don't care. When there is injustice, and there is many instances of injustice around the world right now, we need to stand up for it. I'm glad that she was standing up for the AIDS crisis at a time where it was still not even that on trend. It was not something that people actually took care of. People were still regularly being no longer with us during that time. And it said online that they actually gave pamphlets in the albums of this saying about AIDS safety and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that. That is actually putting it more than just lip service and more than just dedicating a song to them. It is something, and I think it makes me proud to listen to Madonna, that she actually talks about these issues that she finds to be important causes, American life being another thing, with the music video in particular, and her denouncing certain religious practices, which was not in vogue. I mean, I think it was in the 90s when Sinead O'Connor did that ripping of the Pope on SNL, and that basically blacklisted the rest of her career. And Madonna isn't afraid to do that. She has had many successes past then. Some of her biggest successes were on this album, like The Prayer and Express Yourself. So I am very glad that she spoke up for what's right. And I think it's incredibly important to speak up for what's right. If you do not know what is going on in the world right now, you need to get educated and don't listen to what one news source is telling you, because there's a lot of suffering that is going on right now. I'm going to be just flat out honest, free Palestine. I'm not saying that to be trendy, I'm just saying that because it's actually just how I exactly feel, and I've been feeling this for a long time, and especially living in Germany for the past year. It's really hard actually in Germany having that opinion because many Germans, as they should, feel terrible for things that their ancestors did about 100 years ago. And yeah, that's definitely a valid take, but I think looking past the blindness of a religion and thinking about actual suffering and human casualties and injustice, something that sounds like stride, yeah, I think it's important that we actually think about that and think about, now why are people being no longer with us anymore? And what can we do to change that? And I think we should change that. Point blank, period. I have my soapbox to talk about the song again. This song is powerful in terms of its meaning of that. I will say it is not a song I probably want to listen to. It is very heartfelt, and I feel the genuine pain that she is feeling on behalf of the people that are her friends that are passing away around her. That is terrible and a horrible thing for her to experience, and I'm glad she's bringing it to light here. It's not a song I really want to return to much because of the sorrow and horror that is in it. I am part of the community. My parents are married. My two moms are married. So they lived through that, and it's something that's definitely important to talk about from a historical lens, but it's not something I want to listen to for my own enjoyment. To have some joy at some point, but I think it's definitely a very powerful song. I don't really want to relive that past and generational trauma really here, but I do appreciate her being that person with the megaphone, and especially at a time when not so many voices could get heard. On social media, I feel like it's important for us to step back and let people who are suffering be the main people communicating the story, and that we are just, loud speakering it on their behalf. But I think especially then, people weren't going to listen to gay men about this crisis. And I think her being a very big force in the pop culture landscape was able to do that, and I really appreciate her for doing so. Track number 11, last track on this album, Act of Contrition. What's she whispering? Oh, noise. Oh, this is a sick guitar riff, girl. Okay. This is so loud with the bass that I really cannot hear a word she's saying. To confess my sins. Oh, we're bringing it back to religion. I feel like I'm having this choir moment and these background vocals that we were getting in the first two songs.
I have a reservation.
Oh, she has a reservation.
I have a reservation. What do you mean it's not in the computer?
What do you mean it's not in the computer? Shoot. So that was Act of Contrition, and that was an interesting song. I found out that guitar is from Prince. Okay, Prince making an appearance multiple times on this project. Cool. Contrition is feeling sorrowful. I guess it's repentance here, really. She's reciting a Catholic prayer here. I didn't know that. I found that out. And at the end, she repeats the I reserve, and then she changes to I resolve. So she's resolving maybe religious conflict or trying to move past it and go out on her own. But then she also changes it to I have a reservation. And what do you mean it's not in the computer? So it gets a little more everyday life and a little Karen, can I speak to the manager type vibes. All right. And that was interesting. And I think it was a little bit of a funny note to end on after a very serious album. I also like that it's actually a reworked sample of the choir from like a prayer coming back in. So I was really right to clock that before. That's actually really funny. It feels like, when I'm thinking about today's like Brat, where 365 reworks a lot of 360. It really brings home the point of your album if you have a big statement at the beginning and it comes back later. I do love a good motif, and I think this album really tied a lot of things together. So I do appreciate her doing that on this last track. That said, we have gotten to Like a Prayer, and oh my gosh, what a project. I thought I was gonna have a silly little dance Madonna moment, but this is a serious album for serious people only. The really only like fun songs are really the Cherish and Dear Jessie, but yeah, I mean, they're all done in a serious way. Like I was gonna say, Express Yourself is fun, and it is fun, it absolutely is, but it is talking about your relationship in a very serious way, and I think that speaks to me. I think for me, I've had relationships that have felt a little too silly or not communicative enough, and I think I'm approaching relationships now in a much more mature way, and I don't really want something that is not going to be reciprocated in the same way. Yeah, so I'm thinking about things. I'm getting into my quarter life crisis era, and I think, yeah, I just definitely feel like this project is sharing a lot about her family, where she is. I feel like this is a project, if you want to understand who Madonna is and the music she makes, and also have a generally decent time in terms of songs that are hits, but also songs that are serious and are actually telling you and confessing a lot, I think this is a good project to try that. We have the heavy hitters of Like a Prayer, Express Yourself, Cherish. Those are good songs on your own. You don't necessarily need to know about Madonna's life history for that, but you do have some very serious stuff about political issues, social issues, parental, familial issues, and I think it's done in a way that is very interesting. I would say nuanced even by today's standards. I feel like she paved the way for a lot of people to get confessional in their music, even if she wasn't branded as a confessional songwriter. Some of these songs are more honest than what I hear today. I am thinking a bit about Cowboy Carter and how she's dealing with her own family issues in the project, and she definitely does that very well. And I think about Torture Poets. A lot of artists are reflecting on themselves and getting very serious with some stuff, but I think she did it well here. She did it in a lot more of a concise time period with 11 songs only. But yeah, I feel like I learned and relearned and revisited a lot about her in this project, and I think that's really cool. It's also some music that is also very well done and a bit experimental at times, and I think, yeah, I think it is an interesting project that I can see why you guys wanted me to listen to it. It is a very interesting project. It's not as fun as Confessions on the Dance Floor. It's not as my musical palette as Ray of Light is, or Confessions on the Dance Floor, but it is a very powerful project, and it does have some hits, and it does have a lot of hits in terms of how vulnerable she is. If you are willing to feel the vulnerable side of her and actually get to love her, I think this is where you should go. With that said, here are some of my favorites at the top tier, the songs I love, the standout songs I'm playing over and over again. Songs in the lower are songs I like, I'll add them to my playlist, but they might not be the top of the top. And songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean it's a bad song. There is no bad song on this project. I will say that, but I will say that not really my thing are going to be the songs that are too sad for me to listen to, or really, like, I appreciate the message maybe, but maybe I don't resonate with it, or maybe the sonics are just something I'm not really going to return to as often. If you like this video, please look up this comment down below to react to or do next on my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
Get out of the dark.